Baruch atah Asherah anat melecha ha'olam asher kedeshanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hitatif l'tzitzit. Good morning, Brooke. Oh. Oh dear. How are you doing today? Good morning, Marvel. How are you? So we're going to take a deep breath in and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, and we will exhale with a low, steady, even tone. Good morning, Katie. Can you hear my chickens outside, Brooke? One of them's laying an egg. It's making a ruckus. Good morning, Kimmy. How are you? I missed you too, Gracie Pie. But here we are, together right now. Oh gosh, the wind blew out my candle. I have been up and down. You know, life is full of tumult. Let's try that again. Thank you for the likes, Broadbeast. I do appreciate it. So we will start today with a very old prayer from the book of Deuteronomy, often called Shema, which means listen. I hope you will listen to this prayer with me. Shema Yisrael, Asher Eloheinu Yahweh Echad. Ve'ahavta et מתנת אלוהיך, ובכל לבבך, ובכל נפשך, ובכל מאודיך, וחיו הדברים האלה, אשר נוחים מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך, בביתך, ולכתך, בדרך, ובשכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לעוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובשעריך. וחיה, כי ויחיו אלוהיך אל הארץ אשר נשבע לאבותיך, לאברהם ליצחק וליעקב, לתת לה ערים גדולות וטובות אשר לא בנית, ובתים מלאים כל טובה אשר לא מילאת, וברות עצובים אשר לא עשת, וכרמים בזיתים אשר לא נתת, והלכת ושבת. הישמר לך פן תשכח את יהוה אשר הודיעך מארץ מצרים מבית עבדים. Listen, Israel, listen, you who struggles with God. Yahweh, Eloheinu, Asherah, El, Anat, Baal, Allah, Jesus, Moses, Echad. They are all one. All is one. Yes, that is Hebrew, Gracie. Thanks to the rose, Dr. Punk. So, we can continue today reading from these stories of ancient Canaan. We finished the Baal cycle, for any of you who were listening to that, right? Baal was resurrected and the serpent was ground up into grain to feed the people, as the story goes. Now we're reading a different story about a human man named Daniel and his prayers for a son, Akwat. We'll read a little bit from this story. So where we left off, Daniel was praying to the gods, and the gods said, yes, let him have a son. And so then the wise woman enters his house, and for 7 days they couple. And Akwat is born. Daniel sat and counted the months. I'll bring a bow there. I'll provide the arrows. And then on the 7th day, Daniel, the healer's man, the hero, the man of the god of Harnam, got up and sat at the entrance of the gate next to the granary on the threshing floor. So we've, there's a little break in the page, and we've fast forwarded it, 20 years or so, and now Daniel is full grown. Or rather, Akwat is full grown. Daniel, the healer's man, the hero, the man of the god of Harnam, got up and sat at the entrance of the gate next to the granary on the threshing floor. He judged the cases of the windows, presided over orphans' hearings. Then he raised his eyes and looked. 1,000 fields, 10,000 acres at each step. He saw Kothar coming. He saw Hasis approaching. This is a god like Mercury, like Hermes. Not only was he bringing a bow, he had also provided arrows. Then Daniel, the healer's man, the hero, the man of the god of Harnam, called to his wife, listen, Lady Dantaya, prepare a lamb from the flock, for Kothar Wahas's appetite, for the desire of the clever craftsman. Give food and drink to the god. Serve and honor him, the Lord of Egypt, the God of it all. Lady Donatiah obeyed. She prepared a lamb from the flock, for Kothar Wahas's appetite, for the desire of the clever craftsman. As Kothar Wahas had arrived, he put a bow in Daniel's hands. He set the arrows in his knees. Then Lady Donatiah gave food and drink to the god. She served and honored him, the Lord of Egypt, the God of it all. Kothar left for his tent, the clever one for his divine home. And I think we will leave it there, right? So Daniel is blessed by the god of craftsmanship, the messenger god, the god of traveling here and there, right? So at the time that this story was written, much of Canaan was under the sway of Egypt, right? Canaan was an Egyptian colony. And so it's interesting, right, that Kothar Wahas's origins are given as Egypt. So, now we will say Arati. The word arati means flame in Sanskrit. Right, so we'll say the Sanskrit prayer, repeating the names of other gods, not Kothar Wahasis, not Baal, not El, but instead Ganesha and Subramanya, Venugopala. You have a nephew named Kanan. How do you pronounce it? Probably not Kanan, maybe Kanan? I don't know. It's a very good way to spell Katie. Never seen anyone spell it that way. I hope you're doing well too, Garden Nerd. So, the word arati means flame in Sanskrit. This prayer evokes the names of many gods to remind us that they are all one. That's so interesting. Is his family very religious? Jaya Jaya Ratiya Vina Vinayaka Vina Vinayaka Shri Ganesha Jaya Jaya Ratiya Subramanya Subramanya Kartikeya Jaya Jaya Ratiya Venugopala Venugopala Venuola Papa Vidura Navanita Chora Jaya Jaya Rati Venkanta Ramana Venkanta Ramana Sankatarana Sita Rama Radhe Shama Jaya Jaya Rati Gauri Manohara Gauri Manohara Bhavani Sankara Samba Sadashiva Uma Maheshwara Jaya Jaya Rati Raja Rajeshwari Raja Rajeshwari Tripura Sundari Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali Mahashakti Jaya Jaya Rati Anjaneya Anjaneya Hanumanta Jaya Jaya Rati Dattajaya Dattajaya Trimutri Avatara Jaya Jaya Rati Adityaya Adityaya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jaya Rati Sanischaraya Sanischaraya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jaya Rati Sankarajaya Sankarajaya Advaita Gurave Jaya Jaya Rati Sadgurunata Sadgurunata Shivananda Jaya Jaya Rati Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Jaya Jaya Rati Agastya Munaye Agastya Munaye Shriyama Priyaye Jaya Jaya Rati Ayapa Samine Ayapa Samine Dharma Shastave Jaya Jaya Rati Jesus Gurave Moses Gurave Buddha Gurave Jaya Jaya Rati Muhammad Gurave Guru Nanak Gurave Samastya Gurubho Namaha Jaya Jaya Rati Venugopala Natatra Suyabati Natandra Karatam Nemavidyabati Kutaya Magni Twameva Bantamina Bandi Sarvam Dasya Basya Sarmidam Vivanti Om Gange Kayamune Kaiva Govari Saraswati Narmade Siddhi Kaveri Namastitam Namo Namaha Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandusha Saka Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Kayena Vacha Manasendriyarva Buddhyatmanava Prakrite Sabhavad Karomi Adyad Mangalam Parasmahi Narayana Iti Sarmar Payami Sarva Dharman Pravichayam Amikam Savanam Vrija Aham Sva Sarva Papayo Mokshayami Masucha. Whatever actions I perform with my body, speech, mind, senses, my nature, my intellect, or my emotions, all these, I dedicate to you. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Hello, Herbal Ace. Good morning, Cameron. So, one more prayer, and then we'll have a quick breakfast. So the name of this prayer is Kaddish. Right, we can remind ourselves of this Egyptian goddess, Kadesh. This Canaanitic goddess, Egyptian goddess, right? She rides a lion, she holds snakes, she arouses Egyptian gods, right? And she's a very old goddess, but language evolves and the names get preserved, and now in modern Hebrew the word Kadesh, Kadosh means holy. Their father is from Jordan, and they named their son Canaan. That's really interesting. So, this Kaddish is a prayer of mourning. We say it to grieve those we have lost, to let go of those things that we need to let go of, we're still holding on to, and give us pain. And the Kaddish reminds us of the suffering that is inherent in the world, suffering that is inherent in all life. To live is to die is to have lived. And so we say Kaddish in honor of that. And for the last 2,500 years or so, my ancestors have been saying these words in response to death and suffering. As a way to publicly grieve. We do not have that many ways to publicly grieve in 2022 in the English-speaking world, but this is one of them, and I think it's pretty special. Yid Gadal, Yid Kadash, Shemei Rabbah. Bialma divrach yute viam lichmal chute, b'chayachon of yomechon of chayed kol beit Yisrael, bagala vizman kariv yimru. Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah meva'arach le'alam olmei olmaya, yitbarach v'ishtabach v'itba'ar v'itramam v'itnaseh, v'itadar v'taleh v'talal Shemei de kudesha b'rechu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata, diamiran bi'ama v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shlamar Rabbah min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'achol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav, huya aseh shalom aleinu v'achol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oh, say shalom b'imramav, huya say shalom aleinu, v'alechol Yisrael, v'imru, v'imru, amen. And with that, we conclude our morning prayers. So I will be with you for another 15 minutes or so. I'm going to eat a quick bowl of quinoa. And then my first class of the season is starting at 10 o'clock on the Discord server. I'm very excited about it. I get to meet, I have 7 new students. It is quiet this morning. You know, Salty, it's been quiet most mornings since I started streaming again. It's not surprising. But yeah, I've got some new students. I'm gonna learn about them and make some films with them. Alright, so I'm gonna go get some quinoa. I'll be back in a minute. I mean, seven is a reasonable number. Yes, quality over quantity. Numbers of people, numbers of attentions, units of engagement. So tricky. Less trolls, it's true. There are less trolls here these days. So what are you up to today, Kimmy? And how was your day, Salty? Good morning, Sonia. How are you? Really, Katie? Well, that's nice to hear. Thank you, Vanessa. Yeah, it's a bit, it's wet still. I just got out of the shower. And you're using miso paste. Adds important protein. Winter's about to begin, so the weather is miserable. Do you get snow in your part of New Zealand? And flavor, yes, important umami. I haven't been using miso for a while because I removed the refrigeration from my room. I'm excited for it. I don't really know what to expect of my students. You know, every group is a little bit different. But it'll be nice to have a group of people to make films with. Yeah, I think it's going to be a really fun class. You're in Australia. Why did I think you were in New Zealand? I'm so sorry. How did I get that in my head? No snow near me. A few hour drive for snow. I didn't know there was snow anywhere in Australia. Clearly, I'm ignorant on many levels. It's an online class, Katie. Yeah, I will be meeting with students on my Discord server. They're mostly Binghamton students. That's where I teach. People think Australia and New Zealand are the same sometimes. See, I know they're not the same. Just somehow, I got a bad story in my head about you. My apologies. But, like, sure, I understand why you would say it's winter, right? Because the solstice is coming up. But, to me, like, winter is when there's a foot of snow on the ground. I suppose there are mountains in southern Australia that get snow. I was in the rough area. But she doesn't live in New Zealand. She lives in Australia. And I've just been mistaken this whole time. Thanks, Sonia. You miss Canadian winter, Vanessa. That's nonsense. How could you possibly miss Canadian winter? Sorry, I don't mean to be dismissive. Some people really like the cold, but I get depressed in the wintertime. Melbourne has that diverse weather. You hate the heat, you love the snow. Well, I guess it's good you live in Canada then. See, my preferences are more in line with D. I don't think I've ever been too hot in my life, but I'm frequently too cold. Almost every day I'm too cold. I don't have much inner heat to keep me warm. How cold does it get? Does it freeze regularly? Probably not if you don't get snow. Quinoa this morning, D. I live in New York, but in a mountainous region, so we're colder than most other places in New York. Yes, upstate. How was that meeting the other day? The meeting I didn't want to go to? It was uneventful. From New Paltz, about 3 hours. 2.5. Today was 5 degrees Celsius. Yeah, that's cold. That is cold. Yeah, Kimmy, you should move to Hawaii. That's basically the only place you'll get that in the United States. Maybe southern Florida. Alright. Well, my friends, it is time for me to go. My class starts in 9 minutes. So, I'm gonna go get ready for that. And I will see you here tomorrow. And we can do this whole thing once more. Please enjoy your day. Yes, indeed. You too. Farewell.